In your mind, what has Governor Greg Abbott gotten wrong? And I know it could be a long list of things, but some of the bigger topics that have really frustrated you.
Well, I think overall, it's an overarching umbrella of a message, and that is he's a horrible leader. He's just a terrible leader. It. When I was in Austin. It's important for your listeners to understand what liars most Republicans are, and most liars all politicians are. I mean, have you ever met a Republican that didn't say they were conservative? They all say they're conservative.
Right.
I mean, they do. 95% of them are liars. And they'll come back to your district, their districts, and ask for your money. They ask for your vote, and they go down to Austin and govern a different way. And then they can't even remember what they said they were for or against. I mean, my biggest battles in Austin, unfortunately, were generally with the rhinos, Republican in name only, and I mean that because they don't even believe in our state party platform. They never even read it, and including our governor. I mean, it all starts with leadership at the top. Our governor is a poor leader. And I've said this, I've been going around the state giving this talk and telling and warning everybody that we're only going to get one or two of our state party platform issues into law, and we control everything. 20 years running the House, the Senate, the governor's seat. And yet every year we go back, every session, we go back down there and beg, hey, can we get some of our legislative priorities done? It's put together by tens of thousands of grassroots Republicans. And they go back in the back room, make a deal, and say, okay, you'll get one or two that'll be really watered down. And I, like most Republicans, we're running out of time. We feel desperate. Our liberties were destroyed in the last 2 years in this state, more than I ever thought I would see happen. I mean, we're tired of the broken and empty promises. We've had enough. We've had enough on this. Is the border secure? No. Are our property taxes going down? No. Do we have confidence our votes aren't being stolen? No. Do we have term limits? And no. No. I could go way down the list. Way down the list. Everything starts at the top. Stops with courageous leadership, no excuses.
Yes, I find that I like that you said that because I've said that on many of my episodes. Greg Abbott's been squishy, better than some, worse than others. And when I see someone like Ron DeSantis, I think that guy's a leader at least. And I was happy with what he did with Florida and the lockdowns, and he's leading. And that's the biggest difference I saw with Greg Abbott is that he doesn't lead. He kind of waits till it's a safe space and then kind of follows the lead of someone who's stepped up in front of him. Let me ask you, and I think I might know the answer, but I want to get this on record. The lockdowns were it's really something that a lot of us never thought we would see. My wife owns a small business, a salon in Austin, and it really woke her up to political ideas in general, where she's saying, Buck, I've listened to your libertarian stuff for all of this time, but it always seemed abstract. And then all of a sudden, the governor's telling me I can't go to work. What do I do? I don't want to accept taxpayer money in some form of welfare, but I don't know what to do. So I would like to get your thoughts and your opinion on lockdowns and what you saw when that happened and what you would have done differently.
Well, I was very worried this was going to happen in January of 20 and towards the end of January after I saw what was happening in China. I actually tweeted about it at the beginning of March, warning everybody that this was coming. And I thought maybe even martial law was coming. And after the Abbott locked everything down, I had an op-ed published in several of the major papers in Texas begging him to open back up. Look, he shredded our Constitution. He shredded it. The Constitution doesn't give him the authority to do what he did. I would never have done what he did because I don't have that authority in the Constitution. He destroyed 3 million jobs. 3 million jobs in 1 week. He made 3 million Texans dependent on the government. That's more jobs than we've created in the state in the last 10 years combined. Tens of thousands of businesses were gone. He didn't care. He didn't ask you how long you sacrificed in that job or that business, how many generations were at stake. And then he closed our churches. He shredded the First Amendment. He closed our churches on the holiest day of the week, Easter. Couldn't bury the dead for months. You couldn't get married. You couldn't get baptized. In the history of Christianity, we've never closed our Christian churches. And it's for a good reason. You're talking about people's salvation. You're talking about people's mental health. We couldn't visit the sick. And all he did, he's just such a know-it-all, he and all the elitists down in Austin. They know more than we do. I see them. I served with them. And I can tell you, they are the elitists of the world. They're all members of this club. And they know more than we do. And he listened to that lying, fraudulent Fauci, and he still does. I would have never had a mask mandate. It's a medical condition that's between you and yourself. And if you want to tell your doctor, you can. I was for vaccine choice way before COVID.